Hello, I'm Spenta. I love gardening. I live in USDA Zone 7, and today I'm sharing an update of my spring gardens with you. It is now about 5 weeks into the spring, and my gardens are doing really well. I grow perennial plants so that they can come back each year, and this garden's looking really nice this year. As you're looking right here, this is one of my favorite flowers, and it always has been. It is the carnation. So lovely flowers, and of course it matches my nails because I love that color, that coral color. And I have more in other sections of my gardens. There's some mint, there's some verbena right there flowering. Things are looking really nice in my gardens. I do plant some annuals based on having some seeds of them. For example, African daisy is an annual in my area, so you want to plant it from seed. You can always save the seeds, which is what I do, so you don't have to go to the store next year and buy more. So it is very cost efficient to grow perennial gardens, and after a few years it turns into this. So upkeeping it is not really difficult. So to upkeep with this, it is not difficult. Over here we have more plants, and I will go over the name of the plants with you. I have a couple of raised beds over here. And this garden over here, remember, it's the 5th week in spring. That is a beautiful iris right there. The Shasta daisies are all flowering. And there's the hydrangea. It comes back each year. All of these plants come back each year. The iris are very hardy. Their leaves actually stay green throughout the winter time, and so does the Shasta daisy. Here it is. This is really this is a sturdy, strong plant. I really like it. Really like it. I started with a transplantation from my neighbor's gardens right here, and I've transplanted like actually 7 small pieces of daisy, just very small. So if you're looking right here, it would just be a small section of daisy that I would cut, just a small section. And you can transplant it in springtime into other sections of your gardens, and that's succession transplanting because you don't need to go elsewhere to purchase more daisies. All I did was borrow 7 small pieces from a friend, and now I have daisies growing all over my gardens, which is what I like to have. They bring in the pollinators, and I grow food in the back, so pollinators are really important to me. Beautiful flowers. My other raised bed. There you go. This is an azalea plant. Azaleas usually plant, you can plant them, but they are early spring bloomers to mid-spring bloomers, depending on the area you live in. And everything you see that's sticking out in the ground is what was daffodil, hyacinth, or it was a variety of tulip that I have planted in my gardens. So everything you see that's left over, that's sticking up, is from the spring garden, and of course it's going to stay there. And remember, if you want to divide daffodils, like any kind of daffodil, do it during the springtime. It's really nice. And if you are wanting to put daffodil bulbs in the ground, make sure that it is autumn season and that you do it bi-weekly so that you can see the progress in your plants, in your gardens, and you can have ongoing blooms for about 2 months. And that's what I like to do. If you're interested in how to multiply tulips or daffodils, I have other gardening shares that I've shared only of my tulip and daffodil gardens. Lots of rain lately, so the ground is very saturated. Those are chrysanthemums. Chrysanthemums are usually autumn flowering plants, but they do come up during the springtime. That's dianthus right there, and it is edible flower, so it's really good to put it on your salad. Let me see if I have an azalea that's still blooming. I'm looking for some. Oh, this is one of my favorites. It's yarrow, and I have lots of yarrow different colors, different areas of my gardens. Over here I have a yellow yarrow. Let's see if I can get here to it. That one. This is a pretty good plant. Coral bells. Coral bells love shade. That's rue behind it. Coral bells love shade, and they do return each year. Again, I'm Spenta, and I am living in USDA Zone 7. Here we go. And now this section of my gardens, this is a weed. I'm going to have to pull it out with a shovel because it's strong and it's down here in the ground, so I'm going to have to pull this with a shovel. Weeds still grow. One thing I do to make sure my plants are getting pretty much maintaining, is what I'd like to call it, maintaining moisture, is adding mulch to my gardens. I like to mulch my gardens every year, at least twice a year, and I do grow my own compost, so that's not bad either to add to the garden for garden soil. Here we have a thyme plant, the hostas, barberry plant behind there. That was one of my favorite plants. It is a clover, 4-leaf clover. It actually sometimes gives 5 leaves. It's pretty nice. Next to it is coreopsis. It'll come up pretty soon. Over there, there's where the coreopsis is. And that is also known as tick seed. There is more Shasta daisies, as you can see, all around the garden. And it'll be really pretty once they flower. And they flower all the way through fall. So it's really nice, all the way through autumn. My beautiful gift from Corpus Christi. There you go. It's staying green. I like it. But you have to make sure wherever you go, you purchase hardy plants for your area. For example, Corpus Christi is 2 zones above me. So therefore the African daisy would like it there and would grow more. This is interesting. It's my chrysanthemum. It's thinking about giving flowers, which is interesting because they usually flower during autumn time. Lilies, beautiful. Summer lily and daylily are beautiful. They will be flowering later, and they are perennials too, so they come back each year. Hostas, really great plants, perennial, coming back each year. Everything you're looking at is something that comes back each year. Let's look over here. This is a peony plant, and it's going to flower soon. That's an azalea full of flowers. It's been raining on it. Raining for a few days. We are very saturated in the ground. There you go. Mints all over. There is a lamb's ear. Earlier on, I transplanted this hosta from over here, and it's doing really good already. It's only been 3 weeks since transplantation. Very nice results. So succession transplanting works. Succession transplanting is simply taking parts of your plant from one area and transplanting them into another area of your garden so you can have more flowers, more veggies, and more. Basically, your gardens are going to be bigger without you having to go to the store each year. So that is what I highly recommend, and I have other shares with succession planting, so I definitely suggest that you look into that. There is another peony that's going to flower soon. I'm looking at the beautiful bearded iris right now, golden bearded iris. This one has bloomed. It's on the ground. I should perhaps help it by picking it up. And oh, one of my favorites. It's the passion flower. It's so large. These are so large, and it hasn't grown all the way yet, but Do you see that? It's pretty big. It's pretty good size. It comes back every year. It comes back every year. Behind this right there is a hollyhock, as you can see. Over there behind the peony is a hollyhock, which will flower all the way throughout autumn. This here is an echinacea. You can get different kinds of echinacea, or you can get coneflower, similar. Same thing pretty much. Coneflower can come in red or a variety of colors. Echinacea is usually a purplish violet color. This one here will be turning red, so it's a coneflower. Again, I mentioned this is my Dutch iris. I have other Dutch iris in other areas of my gardens. Let's see what's going on here. There is a sage back there with flowers on it. Here's another hollyhock plant that I have going on. Again, back to the azalea. So these are really nice plants, and if you're wanting to have perennial gardens, I really recommend that you spend some time studying what zone you live in, what plants you like, which ones use more water, which ones need less water. That's really important, because some plants don't like to be in saturated situation. Like some plants, if I had them planted in this area, they would not be making it because they're overly saturated. So you need to make sure that the amount of water and sun that's needed for your plants is adequate, and that you're giving it adequate amount of water, and also that it's getting enough sun. There is another yarrow. I love yarrow. I love herbs. I have an herbal garden, a 12 o'clock perennial herbal garden out back that gives me herbs throughout the year. Let's see over here. The blooms are going to be coming out soon. Yellow with yellow, white with yellow in the center. Really beautiful. Really beautiful. I also recommend, if you are wanting to have more plants, dividing is really important. Dividing your plants and putting them in another section during the right time of the year is really important. So succession transplanting works as long as you transplant your plants at the right time of the year. So I recommend that you purchase perennials or evergreens so that they can be in your gardens for a long time. If you're the kind of person that doesn't want to have to constantly add plants each year and spend money on it, it's a really smart idea to invest in perennials from the beginning. And you can grow them from seed, from bulbs, from rhizome. It just depends. You can also purchase the plant itself from a nursery, a local nursery that I would definitely recommend. Local nurseries grow their own plants usually. There you go. And again, as I mentioned, I'm Spenta. I love perennial gardening, and this is an update to my gardens. I love it. It's doing really good. It's as I expected it to be doing. So that's really nice. It's now been 5 years that I've been working on these gardens, and it looks like they are stable and they're doing as I wanted them to do. Earlier on this year, this was full of tulips, hyacinths, and daffodils. And as you can see, there are still some leftover tulip branches right there. There you go. It's really nice to have a raised bed as well. Hostas, you can transplant them. Make sure you know what amount of sun is needed. Make sure you know how much sun is needed. Make sure it's in your right zone. Make sure that it will come back each year. It does not get warm here during the winter times. It's pretty cold. We go down to negative 20 degrees. So that being said, I need to have a plant that's strong, sturdy, and that if it dies, it comes back the next year. It's really important. I highly recommend it that you mulch your gardens and cover them by mulch, with using mulch during winter time, so that it can protect all your perennials, that they come back next year and they grow right away. It's just like if you're feeding them. And I also use Osmocote on my in my gardens, Osmocote for my plants, and it's doing pretty well. So I also recommend Osmocote. To sum it up, I recommend you having plants that are, if you're interested, that is, in perennial gardening, I recommend that you have plants that are hardy to your area, that are plants that will make it in the sun or shade, you need to make sure if they're shade loving or sun loving plants. So make sure you know if your plants like sun or shade. So to sum this up, you need to know how much water is needed, how much sun is needed, and what type of weather, climate your flower or your herb, any kind of plant, can handle. So make sure you do all that to begin with. After you do that, then each year from then on, you can take your plants, divide them, and multiply them. Sometimes it is in the autumn, sometimes it is in the fall. These iris do really well because they have rhizomes, so you can just take one out, cut the rhizome, and put it in another area of your gardens. Simply just by doing this, you're saving money, you're making your gardens beautiful, and you don't have to go to the store again to purchase more plants. Because succession transplanting works, saves money, and as long as you like the plants, you can multiply them based on how you like them. There you go, hostas all over here, mainly shade area. Of course, it's a cloudy day. It is a cloudy day, and I cannot wait to see that peony grow and give me some beautiful flowers this year. And again, this is the Dutch iris. I love it. I love the color, and I love the way it grows. Absolutely different. Absolutely different than an actual iris. The hostas and echinacea, everything is one plant that comes back each year. And the next year it comes up, it'll come up bigger and better. That's a hollyhock, also perennial. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching my share. I hope you have enjoyed an update of my gardens. Don't forget, you can save money by succession transplanting your plants from your own gardens into another section of the gardens. You can also save seeds. Make sure if you're growing flowers that are required to have a lot of water, that you put them in a place that receives a lot of water. Make sure if they're shady loving plants that you put them in shade. And if they love the sun, provide them with lots of sun. I'm Spenta, and I thank you for your subscriptions, likes, and comments. And I wish you a beautiful day. Thanks for watching my share.